I mentioned earlier that we have Perry DiNapoli with us. He is one of our third place prize winners right now, and I am delighted to introduce him to you. Perry, I'm going to go ahead and put your line open here. Let's see. Go ahead and start your video if you wouldn't mind.
Okay.
There you go.
Great.
Hi, Perry.
Do you hear me okay?
Yeah, it sounds great. You look great. Oh, look, Perry, I know you're a busy guy. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule today. You know, I love seeing your name up on that list. You and I have known each other for many, many years. We've had such a great opportunity to get to know each other, and just congratulations. Really, really happy for you. I can't wait to hang out with you and Vincenza on the ship.
Well, it's absolutely a huge pleasure and a thrill for me, Karen. You know, it's been about 2 years since I've been on a corporate call, and that 2 years just goes so fast. But very excited to be part of this program, and real excited for our success and our team's success.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about today. So thanks for taking some time out. Why don't you just take a minute or two and share with folks a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your background, how long you've been with ASEA.
Okay. So I'm a caterer and business owner by trade. I've been, you know, in the business for just celebrated about 25 years of being in our own family business. And we work hard. We work a lot of hours. Introduced to network marketing about 20 years ago with a small company named Amway, and it was a lot of fun. It was life-changing for me, but I never really had any great success. But I always loved the culture and everything about it, and I felt that opportunity wasn't right for me. But that one day I'd find something, and I tried about 12 or 13 different companies over the course of the last 2 decades. And then 6 years ago, I was introduced to ASEA, and it was pretty much immediately that I found that this one had the culture, and it had the family and everything that I had been looking for. So I was blessed to have some immediate success. I think I went bronze in 90 days, you know, and still working full time and running my business. And I never was able to give it a full-time run, but I was always able to stay in the game. But 2 years ago, I ended up, you know, well, three years ago, I ended up my business that I had at the time because of some landlord issues, didn't plan out the way I had wanted it to. But 2 years ago, I found a new building and a new opportunity. And, you know, I have to say, my biggest concern about jumping into this big project that I took on, it was the biggest project of my life. How is it going to affect my ASEA business? And I remember speaking with you a couple of years ago, and you know, expressing my concerns and speaking with you know, with Nancy, and you know, you guys were so great and so supportive. And I knew that I was going to have to take a little time off because I, you know, opened up a business that required about 80 hours a week of energy. So I took 1.5 years off, and 6 months ago, I made a commitment back to both you and Nancy that I was ready. It was time, and I felt that, you know, ASEA, everything was perfect. And so we started doing our weekly meetings. We started doing a lot of things. My group, you know, it took me a little bit of a lot of energy to probably get me and the group all back to that momentum stage. But we've hit, since January 1st, we've been hitting the momentum. And I drove down to Maryland, which is a nice 5-hour trip. And I came down with Walter Brady, one of my team. And I told you, Karen, I said, I needed to do something to be the catalyst. I needed to make a decision. And, you know, going a 5-hour trip to come down and spend the day in Baltimore with you and the rest of the leaders was something I needed to do for Perry, you know, for my team, so that I could make a decision to put the gas, you know, floor it again. And I told you I'd be on this cruise, and, you know, here we are, you know, it's 6 weeks later, and I'm very, very excited about the success we're having. You know, excited about having, like, you know, Marco Ricciuti from my team went platinum, and so many good things are happening, and it's just the beginning. So yeah. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you. It is just the beginning. And you touched on a couple of things that I think are really important for us to expand on. Look, you're a busy guy and you have a lot of passions in your life. Of course, I know your family is your #1 passion. And I know food is your #2 passion. I know that you love being in the restaurant world. I know you love being in the catering world. But you know what? Those are tough worlds to be in when you love your family and you want to spend time with them as well. And, you know, taking the time to make a decision at the beginning of January to work ASEA into your busy schedule. You know, you and I talked a little bit yesterday about sometimes people don't feel like they can work ASEA into a full-time job. So do you want to talk a little bit about the fact that you find ways in your 80-hour work week to focus on income producing behaviors, and a little bit about what that looks like for you?
Sure. So I remember years ago, someone, and I forget who, said, you know, network marketing is an interesting business. You could do it full-time, you could do it part-time, but you can't do it in your spare time. You have to respect it. You have to respect the people you're working with. You know, I had to make some decisions as to which, you know, what I could do and couldn't do. You know, just going to convention last year was a major decision for me because of so much obligation on my plate. But I knew that my team needed me to be there. And so I gave up other things in order to be in the places that I needed to be. So, you know, sometimes people think, you know, they can do this part-time by just doing it whenever or casually. It really doesn't work that way. You have to have dedication. So I always walk around with 2 sets of cards in my pocket. I have my Briarcliff Manor catering cards, and I have my ASEA business cards, because I never know who I'm going to meet. And I like to always have, I'm always ready. You know, in terms of people, when I meet them for ASEA, you know, for the most part, you know, I'm talking to people all day long. I make sure that if I tell them that I need to send them information, I send them information. If I need to follow up with somebody, right now it's not important for me to sponsor the entire world. I'm looking for people, as I said yesterday, I'm really looking now for those next people that are going to help me bring ASEA to the world. And I have to correct you on one thing. You said my first passion is my family. My second passion is food, and I think that there's something that actually takes precedent over food and catering. I am so excited about ASEA, the product. So excited about ASEA, you know, what it can do for people's lives. Not just the health product, but the, you know, ASEA, the business, ASEA, the opportunity. You know, I went through a couple of years ago, I won't get into details, but I went through a tough time where it felt like everything was coming at me and I had nowhere to go. And, you know, ASEA was a constant for me. And that was something that no matter what, I could plug into a webinar. No matter what, I could make a phone call to an upline. No matter what, I can get together with my downline. And I felt like I was safe. It was like something I had, that even though my entire business, I had lost it due to a landlord battle, and I was now going to find myself without a business, at least I had my ASEA thing that kept me there. And I'll never forget that. And I had my ASEA, you know, you were there for me. We spoke several times through that process. You know, it means a lot. And so ASEA has been there for me. I feel it's my obligation to be there for it. You know, people say to me, I hear all the time, you have this most beautiful building. You have this great opportunity that is, you know, world class. Why would you fool around with something like ASEA? And I say, well, the building that I have and the business that I have is something that absolutely, you know, fills one of my needs and something that I'm really passionate about. I love doing events. I love doing weddings. It's really, really a great business. It helps me feed my family. It helps me bring family together. But there is nothing that I've ever done, work-wise or business-wise, that gives me the same energy and the same response as sharing ASEA with somebody and getting a phone call a week, a month, 3 months later that this has improved the quality of their life and that they're thankful for it. So.
Yeah. Beautifully said, Perry. I appreciate that. You can correct me anytime when you want to talk about the order of your passions. You know, you mentioned, you know, just even throughout the years that I've known you, one of the things that I love about you is you are kind of the example, in my opinion, of, you know, life is going to kind of get in the way. Life is going to press on you in lots of different areas at lots of different times. And one of the things that you said yesterday was so valuable, and it was, do you remember what you said? It was 2 words.
Yep.
What was it?
Winston Churchill said it, and I've said it many, many times. Never, never, ever quit.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in quitting. I believe in finding a way. And I would never quit on anyone who's been in my corner, whether it's, you know, the company, my downline, my upline, I would never quit on them, and I would never quit on my family. So even though I had to take, and when I say I turned the sea off, I still put probably about 5 hours or more a week into reading the books. Les Brown is one of my heroes. Les Brown, means a lot to me, and someone I've been listening to and following for 20 years. And I bring my team to this mindset. In order to be successful, there are 3 things you need to do. You need to work on you. You need to be the best you can be. So I listened to the webinars. I read the right books. I stayed plugged into at least self-improvement. 2, he says, you must be best at your business, whatever you're doing. So I stayed in touch with what was happening in the ASEA world. And the 3rd thing that he said is probably the most important. Stay connected to a group of like-minded, supportive people. And that is what I've done. So even though we didn't break any records in 2015 and 16, we kind of just hung on by a couple of threads. Our core group of people, we stayed connected, and we had our once a month get-togethers minimum. Sometimes twice a month we would get together. We had our calls. We had a lot of things that we did, and that really made the difference for me. So I would tell anybody out there, no matter how busy you are, no matter what life is throwing at you, you're going through a rough patch, stay connected to people who care about you and the outcome, and people who have your back, and things will work out.
Beautifully said, Perry. Well, we always got your back here at ASEA.
Yes.
You're beloved, and we're so excited to spend the week with you and Vincenza on the ship. So congratulations. Keep working hard. I know you're just a couple of sponsors away from that next category, into that 2nd place. So you've got a balcony cabin waiting for you, Perry. And want to just say thank you again for taking the time out of your busy day to be with us today. I am so appreciative that you weave ASEA into your life. And this is a great example of how, if you focus on income producing behaviors, even in a busy lifestyle, you can achieve great things. So Perry, thanks so much for being with us. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Karen. Look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.